The girls club, 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 the girls club. It's my club and I'm a girl, yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to the Girls Club. I'm your president, Emily, and today I am recording on the best holiday of the year, Spotify Wrapped / Apple Music recap day of the top 5 artists and songs you listen to the most. Very controversial holiday, I would say. For me personally, I kind of like it. I'm here for it. Maybe that's the borderline millennial in me where I'm just like, yeah, I want to see what everybody's listening to because I care. But in reality, like, truly everybody's like, oh my God, it's so stupid. And this is how you can tell if somebody's basic and whatever. It's like, I don't even care about that. It's just like something about knowing like the type of email jump scare. Something about knowing like the type of music that your friends listen to or the people that you follow listen to. It tells you a lot about that person, you know? So I like it. I personally like it. It's like my nosy ass likes to know. And you know, to everybody who says like it shows people how basic people are, like, fuck you, you're no fun. Seriously, like, I don't care if your top artist was Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Billie Eilish, like the TikTok special. Good for fucking you. Hello, it's pop music for a fucking reason. Everybody loves it. You know, if your top artist was Noah Kahan or he who should not be named Zach Bryan, there's nothing fucking wrong with that. You know, last year my top artist was Drake. So there's that. This year, my top artist, as I'm sure all of you could have guessed, was NSYNC. I was actually in the top 500 listeners. Not 500, you know, on a scale of what? 500 in the world. Top 500 listeners to NSYNC. That's insane. That's a bit of insanity. Yes, right underneath that was Backstreet Boys, though. It was like only like 1,000 minutes difference in listening. And see, I'm doing it to you guys. So to you guys who listen and you don't care, I'm in your ear telling you what mine was. And also, I have Apple Music. Is that controversial? Because here's the thing. I have an iPhone. Why would I not just get the Apple product? You know, I never understood the Spotify lore. I never understood it because I'm like, was Spotify not created for Androids? And furthermore, why did so many people have Spotify? Like, were early adopters to Spotify who had iPhones? Like, I thought we all just went from like iTunes to Apple Music. Like, I thought that was like the easiest transition ever. Was it cheaper? Is that the reason? I don't know, because I share an Apple Music with my younger brother. Like, we have the same account. And so, yeah, we just do that. But yeah, I never got on the Spotify train. So whenever I do listen to Spotify, it's not Spotify Premium, which I never listen to Spotify. The only time I ever do is like when I check shit on the podcast I produce for work to just make sure that the episode is also on Spotify so I don't get in trouble. But like, other than that, I don't ever use Spotify ever. But yeah, a lot of people do. I don't know. The thing is, like, I never adopted to Spotify because it was confusing for me. Like, Apple Music is very like boomer. Like, I like it. It's like, you know, here's what you like. Here's some more of it. And I'm like, perfect. Spotify gets like too nitty gritty with it all. It's like, I don't need 17 million different playlists. I want to make my own playlist. I don't care about the playlist that you made. You know, like, I want to download my own songs and create my own playlists. Yeah, so there's that. And also, what was I going to say about Spotify? Something really important, I'm sure. Oh my God, it doesn't matter. But how is everybody? How was everybody's Thanksgiving? Did anybody get in some crazy arguments with their family over politics or whatever? I'm dying to know if you did. My Thanksgiving was very chill. I was home all last week and it was great. I got sick though on Tuesday, and I'm still sick today, and it is Wednesday of the next week. So that kind of sucked. I also got my whole family sick, and my brother and my mom are still sick as well. So yeah, that was unfortunate news of all of that. But the good side is I went home, cooked some food, ate some food, and it was awesome. It was a good time. It's officially winter, which means if you have eczema, I stand in solidarity with you because I also am an eczema sufferer. If I could turn this camera around, which I technically could, I'm not going to because I have all the lighting and shit adjusted. You would see my humidifier on the floor. I take it every room I go to. I take my humidifier with me and I just like put it in that room because my eczema is eczema-ing right now. Traditionally in the winter when I would live alone, I just didn't turn the heat on. Except on the nights when it would go below freezing, I didn't want my pipes to burst, so I would turn the heat on like just for a half sec. But like I'm telling y'all, like my room got down to like 50 some degrees. Because like here's the thing, if you have eczema, the heater is like your arch fucking nemesis. Like that is the Doofenshmirtz to your Perry the fucking platypus. I swear to God, they're preying on your downfall. Also, if you hear like gurgling, that is my that's the humidifier, not me. Except sometimes when I open my mouth, like because I have acid reflux, it makes a sound where it's like coming out of the back of my throat. Can you tell I didn't take my medicine today? Wow. But yeah, eczema, it sucks. I think I've told this before, but I was in like the trial round of this steroid cream back in the day called Protopic. It was like when it first popped out on the scene, and I was a literal child, and I got paid money to test this product on my body. So like, when they're like, FDA approved or whatever, I was the test subject. Unbeknownst to me, I mean, I was like literally a child, and I would get a $50 check in the mail every month for like literally being the test subject of this steroid that I was putting on my body every day. And now as a grown adult, I know how bad topical steroids are, and like how easily people can react and get like topical steroid withdrawal symptoms, where your skin essentially like forgets how to produce oils, and it's really bad. I follow this girl on TikTok who is like going through her journey with it, and it's just like, oh my God, it's so crazy. So I don't use any steroids anymore because I'm terrified of that happening to me. And so I only ever use just like lotion now. And I've been using Vanny cream. I don't know if y'all know about Vanny cream. I don't know if I like it. It doesn't feel like, it feels weird on my skin. And then when I put clothes on, like it feels like weird with that. It's like sticky almost. Like, I don't know. But the CeraVe just like, it wasn't cutting it. In the Cetaphil CeraVe, it's like the same bullshit. Like, I don't know. But if anybody has eczema and has like the best lotion ever, please let me know, because like shit is getting bad. And when I was little, oh my God, my eczema is so fucking bad. Like I would like scratch myself to sleep crying and just like bleeding all over my covers and stuff. I have scars on my body from literal me scratching my eczema so bad. But yeah, there's that. So yes, it's winter, it's Christmas season, it's getting cold outside. I'm sick. Everything is just like the stars are all aligning for Christmas vibes. Also this weekend, oh my God. So I'm trying to do stuff that makes me happy. Wow, what a concept, right? Never been done before. Woman does things that make her happy. Crazy. But seriously, I'm trying to put in an effort to do things that like bring me joy, because this 2024 was not my fucking year. I had a miserable year. Honestly, it was bad. My friend died. That was a big part of the bad. I don't know. It's just like, I feel like nothing's really going my way this year. Everything has just been like sad, and I don't know. I just feel like I'm in a rut of life and whatever. Last week I talked about, coming to this crossroads in life and being like, okay, it's time for a change. I need to like branch out. I need to do something and whatever. And that is like kind of spurred from this desire for me to find happiness in life, because I don't enjoy life right now. And not in like, I know that sounds pessimistic and dramatic, but like it's true. Like every day I feel like that SpongeBob episode where the guy is like, wake up, go to work, come home, stare out the window, go to bed, do it again. Like, I don't have any drive to like enjoy anything. So I'm really trying and really putting effort into like doing things that make me happy to feel something again. Yeah. So on that note, part of that is I had been wanting to go to Dollywood since I lived here. I've been in Tennessee now for almost 5 years and I've never been to Dollywood. And if you don't know what Dollywood is Dolly Parton's theme park in Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge, something, Tennessee. It's out in the middle of fucking nowhere in the Smoky Mountains. And I decided that I wanted to go during Christmas time because it's very like they have like Christmas lights up and stuff and like vibes or whatever. And so I decided, I was like, you know what, fuck it, like let's do it this weekend. Like let's just pull the trigger and do it. Also, like having no money, I think when you realize, when you live in a capitalistic society, you realize how much your happiness depends on spending money. And as fucked up as that sounds, it's just true. Like, we don't have like basic things in our society because it runs all in capitalism that are just like normal things to make you happy that you don't have to pay for. I.e., there's really no like here's a perfect example. I love running, right? I like to run. I like to be outside and to do that. I don't have sidewalks by me. So in order to do so, I have to get in my car, go drive to a trail, get out of my car, run around said trail, and then get back in my car and drive back to my house. It's not accessible. It's not easy. It's creating like a barrier to entry of that activity constantly. So it's like little things like that. And there's like no real parks around me. And there's no real like, there's nothing to do that doesn't cost money. And so you get in these like loops of depression whenever you are low on finances, like in America. Even like think about like just basic things, right? Like let's say I love baking, which is true. I love to bake. That all costs money. Like you still have to go to the store and you still have to buy the thing and then whatever. So it's like it's hard to justify doing shit that makes you happy that isn't like a necessity to live, you know? And so I've been having a really hard time recently, like justifying things because I'm like, I don't have like just fuck around money. Really, I don't. And especially with like Christmas coming up and everything, it's just like, it feels guilty to spend my money, even though it's my fucking money, right? It's like, it's the money I made. I should be able to do whatever I want with it. However, because our society is so fucked and everything is so fucking expensive, there's nothing I can really do that is justifiable. It's not like I could like spend $5 and go to the movies back in the day or go out to dinner and spend $20. Like it's not, that's not what it's like anymore. It's so fucking expensive. So I found myself a bit depressed. And not that it's a direct link to money, but it's pretty damn, it's a pretty damn direct link. I think that's why rich people are like, money can't buy you happiness. And I'm like, as somebody who doesn't have money, like, yes, it can. Y'all don't even know how much of a luxury it is to just like not think about spending money on small things. Like, I'm not trying to buy like a designer fucking bag. I'm not trying to go on this extravagant trip to like the fucking, like to Fiji or whatever the fuck. Like, it would be nice to like go on a road trip and stay in a hotel and go to a fucking theme park that's 3.5 hours from me. And I've been putting this off and putting this off and putting this off because it's like the ticket just to go into the park is $100. And it's like too far away for me to like not spend the night. So then it's like, okay, got to get a hotel. That's about $200. And then like when you're in the park, you're going to be spending money on food and all that shit. You got to pay money to get there. So you got to spend money on gas. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like it adds up. This short weekend trip that is something that like anybody else who has money would be like, oh, that's nothing. But when you don't have money, it's like, bro, the way I've been thinking about this shit and being like, I shouldn't do that. Girl, like, it's a fucking theme park in fucking Pigeon Forge, fucking Tennessee. You're not going to the goddamn Ritz-Carlton, bitch. Like, it's okay. But it does make me feel guilty. So anyways, I'm doing that this weekend. I finally was just like, fuck it, just go do it. Like, do something that makes you feel something. Seriously. Like, it's all right to spend your own money that you make. But like, I don't know. It is really hard though, because everybody's like, oh, you should have money saved up. You should do this, that, and the third. And it's like, if you're a young listener, I know the majority of this demographic is like 18 to 35. So if you are in that 18 to 25 bracket and you're like, I don't know, either in college still, or maybe you didn't go to college and you just went straight to working, or maybe you went to college and you just got your first job and you're like, how the fuck do people save money? The answer is no one is saving money. Like, I hate to say that, but I feel like people need to say that. I feel like people need to get real about the state of everybody's like independent wealth, because the reality is, unless you are living in a dual income situation where you and like your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever are like sharing your finances with one another and sharing like everything, like, you are not saving any money. And like, that's why people who are like 30 plus years old still have roommates, because no one can afford to save up enough money to like live on their own. And the cost of living has just gotten so ridiculous that like companies are not keeping up with it, because it would be detrimental to their profit line, and they don't give a fuck that you can't afford to like live in a house without a roommate, because in their mind they're like, well, you're 27, shouldn't you be married and like have a husband who makes more money than you? And it's like, no, indeed not the case. So yeah, I think we all need to get real about the fact that we all have no money. I think that is the tea. Seriously, like 2025 is going to be the year of like, I hope that I am able to put money in my savings, but let's get real. Like, I probably won't, you know, like, I don't know. It's just insane. And also like living in Tennessee, like, I don't know what the fuck they're on with their salaries versus the cost of living, but like, it's so expensive to live here for no goddamn reason. Like, why do we have like New York prices for like actual like, no, like, paying for what you pay in New York, it is outrageous. However, it makes more sense to me because it's like things are accessible. Like, if you're living in the city, like, you can walk out of your apartment hypothetically in most places and access food, you can access entertainment, you can access public transportation, you can access like retail, shopping, whatever. Like, you can get all the things. Also, everything is walkable, therefore you don't have to worry about like a car or shit like that. So it's like you're kind of benefiting a lot from your proximity. In Tennessee, it's like, you, even if you live in the fucking literal middle of downtown Nashville, there's not shit down there. Like, you still are walking blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks to get to the things that you would need to get to. Trust me, I fucking lived down there. I literally lived on Broadway in Nashville. And still, you needed a car to get fucking everywhere. It's not walkable. It's not like pedestrian friendly at all. So it's like, I don't understand how they can pay, like, expect people to pay for what they need. Also, all these apartments are fucking empty. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that our generation is not having kids, right? Like, people are not having kids for a plethora of reasons. But I would say first and foremost, our generation is not bought into the bullshit that every other generation is bought into, which is the path towards the American dream. You know, you go to college, you get a good paying job because you went to college. Then you work your way up at the same company for 20 years and eventually you can become the CEO. It's like, girl, what the fuck? No, most people can't stay at a job for more than 3 to 4 years without getting fucking laid off. Also, if you do stay at a job for more than 3 4 years, you're gonna get a pay bump of like fucking 5% if you're lucky. If you're lucky. And then to like go nowhere in your fucking career. The only people that are making money are the people that are leaving their job every like 2 years and switching to another company. And that's a pain in the ass too, because all these companies, the job market is so competitive and so like crazy, and all these companies are listing all these roles with ridiculous expectations, with ridiculous fucking requirements and qualifications that they want you to have that aren't even real. Like, it's not even real. Like, I saw this guy posted TikTok today that he had an interview with somebody for like the social media manager position. And they said he was perfect candidate, but if he wanted the higher end of the salary, he would have to have 15 years of Instagram and TikTok experience. And he was like, TikTok has literally only been around for 8 years and Instagram's only been around for 14 years. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, they're not real. Like, these jobs in the like qualifications and stuff on it are just not fucking real. So all of that on top of the fact that like we already can't afford to live anywhere. So how the hell do people expect us to have a child, bring that into the world? It's like, I can't even, like, most people have to decide week to week if they're gonna like get groceries or not, or if they're gonna put it on their credit card and incur more debt or whatever. Also, everybody's stuck paying off fucking student loans. Everybody's stuck paying off car payments and phones and all this other bullshit that we're all expected to have, because if you don't, you're going to be left behind in society and you can't keep up with the Joneses, and you're not going to be, one of like everybody else. And so it's just like all of these things coupled with the fact that like our generation has woken up to the fucking reality that this whole trickle down economics and the people at the very top, the CEOs and all these boomers who took advantage of every government public service that they were allotted, have now taken all of that away from us. They've taken too much of the pie. There's nothing left to give to us. It's gone. All of this money and Social Security and all this other bullshit, like, they are reaping every benefit that they are now trying to take away from us with the legislation. So it's like, we just have no hope. Like, even if you want to be completely optimistic and excited about the future and all of this stuff, you still know in the back of your mind the realities of the world in which we live in. We've lived through a global pandemic. We've lived through fucking massive school shootings happening damn near every day. We've lived through huge environmental tragedies, all of the hurricanes and shit that's happening. We're now seeing, so many animals being extinct, and, we're seeing NASA scientists tie themselves to trees because they're like, we are killing this planet. Like, we need to take shit seriously or we're all gonna die. I mean, the government is like, yo, we have aliens in the ocean and nobody gives a fuck, because they're like, okay, cool. Can we make housing affordable? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, also, we don't have access to good healthcare, and our fucking rights as women have been taken away. So everybody's scared as fuck to get pregnant. So all of this to go back to the housing situation. Every city in America, no matter how developed it is developing, quote, affordable housing. Not for a lack of housing. There's plenty of housing. I would say that there is way more than enough housing in America currently. However, there's not enough affordable housing. So what is every city doing? They're building apartment complexes. They're building all of these things for people to live in our generation, because we cannot afford to buy a house. What is going to happen in 20 years from now when none of our generation had children? The birth rate is so low. And I'm just thinking, we're going to have like millions of empty apartments, because we already have millions of empty homes. all of these apartments are going to be like ghost fucking towns. It's going to be so dystopian and weird. And like, I'm just thinking of like all of the infrastructural like advancements that we've had has all been driven because the middle class does not have enough money. So instead of, doing things to get the middle class more money and help us contribute to the economy and build everything up, because we know trickle down economics doesn't work. It starts with the people at the bottom. Once we have the buying power, then the money moves up the chain. It doesn't work top down. So instead of doing that, they're investing and spending all of this money on quote affordable housing only for it to be $2,300 a month for a 650 square foot bullshit piece of shit in the middle of a no-name fucking city. And like, parking's not included. If you want a dog, that's extra. You also got to sign a fucking application fee to even apply. And then in some states, you have to have like a broker to get a fucking place. So then you have a broker fee. And then you have all this other, this, that, and the third. And then, we need 3 months security deposit, whatever. Only for them to be like, and we'll give you 4 months free because no one's fucking buying these goddamn apartments. We don't need more apartments. That's not the solution to the problem. It's just ridiculous. I don't know how we even got on this subject, and I don't know why I'm so fucking riled up about it. But I think I'm just realizing that like I might not ever be able to have a kid. And that's really like disappointing as somebody who like has always wanted to be a mom. Well, that's really sad. Like I might cry. But I feel like everything is just so fucked up. It would just not be fair. Like I'm struggling so hard and I had the most privileged upbringing ever. And I can't imagine bringing a kid into the world with what I have, which is not even comparable to like what my parents had. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. And it's like, who the fuck even knows like what the world's gonna be like in 20 years, with the environment and everything. So I don't know. Wow, that got fucking dark. Hello. Yeah, now can you tell why I've been trying to do stuff that makes me happy every day? Because this is the way my brain has been for the last year. It's been very existential mode and just very doomsday of everything sucks and I hate it. Speaking of just being sad and feeling nothing, does anybody else just like take a shower when you're bored to like pass time? Just me? Yeah, I've developed this new thing to wherever I'm like bored and I feel nothing anymore. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'll just go take a shower. Like a 30-minute long ass fucking shower. I'll put on a YouTube video, hop in that bad boy, use my fucking African net sponge or whatever the fuck, and just take a shower. That's when you know shit is hit rock bottom. When your like fun activity of the day is bathing. It's taking a shower to literally just pass time to make the day go by quicker so you can go to bed and tomorrow can come and you just do the same thing again. That's fucking depressing as shit. But that's what I've been doing recently. I've just been hopping in the shower, watching a YouTube video, disassociating for 30 minutes, getting out, putting on comfortable clothes, and then just being like, well, I wonder when I can go to sleep now. It's 4 p.m. I feel like my mom listens to this show and is like, oh my God, like, what's wrong with her? Is she okay? The answer is no. I'm not doing good. I'm just kidding. I'm fine. It's just like one of those things where it's like, I feel like we all feel this way, internally. But I just put it externally on this thing because, once again, this has become my therapy. I've stopped going to therapy. I think that's probably also why I've been so fucking miserable. But like my insurance at work changed. And so the therapist that I previously had, I can't see anymore because my insurance doesn't cover it. So I would have to find a new therapist. And I just don't want to. I don't want to. I don't care enough. So I guess I'll just be depressed. In better news, I have been having motivation to do certain things more. I mentioned, trying to do stuff that makes me happy. I picked up the guitar again. I'm still bad at it. That's the awesome news about that. The thing is, when you don't practice guitar for 8 months, and the last time you practiced, you weren't actually that good to begin with, because you had only really practiced for like 4 months, you're still bad. So that's been cool. And yes, I have been playing the guitar again. I've been trying to play it every day. I moved it from a room that I previously never saw it, because it was down in my office, and I don't ever go down there because I don't know. I don't really know why I don't go down there. It's like the office is where I edit this, and so I associate it with like work, which I guess, yes, the fucking office, like the fuck. But it also has like a TV and a couch and whatever, but the couch is not very comfortable, and also like there's no bathroom on that floor, so if you have to pee, you have to walk upstairs, and like my fucking lazy ass does not want to do all that. So I don't really go down there, and so I never was practicing the guitar because I never saw it. And then when I was on my drive home, my 8-hour drive home, I had this like fucking moment when I was in the car. I was like, damn, I want to play the guitar. Like, I just want to shred it up. I just want to, get on that thing and strum it. So I did. I came home after 8 hours on the road, and I just like started practicing the guitar again. Except what's frustrating is like when you're learning the guitar, like you're not good at it. It's not very fun. So yeah, but I brought it upstairs, and so I see it every day. So I've been practicing it every day, even if it's just like 10 minutes. I'm just like trying to pick it up and fuck around with it. And I've been doing that. Also started painting again. Yay. I bought all this fucking watercolor bullshit, and I didn't use it for so long. And like my friend commissioned an art piece from me literally months ago. Like I talked about this months and months and months ago. And then my friend passed away, and like everything in my life just became like numb. So I just didn't do that anymore because I was like so unmotivated to literally do anything. And then this week I was like, no, you need to do this. Like, you need to start working on it again. So I scrapped the last thing I was making for her. Totally just am going to throw that away. Hate it. Completely new concept and a new medium, because before it was acrylic paint. Now I'm doing watercolor, and I'm kind of having fun with it, I guess. I don't know, TBD. There's a fucking gnat in here. Are you kidding me? It is 60 degrees, or not 60 degrees. It's like 60 degrees in here. It's cold in here. But it is 40 some degrees outside, and there's a fucking gnat in my house. Get out of here, bitch. But yeah, I've been painting again. It's been fun, I guess. Oh man, I just have like all of these like big ambitions, and then I'm like, but you don't know what you're doing. So like it always becomes way more work than I set out for it to be, Like I am self-taught painter, self-taught artist actually on everything. So I'm not very good, but also on top of that, it's like not only am I not very good, but like every time I try something, I'm like trying it for the first time. So like, of course I'm going to mess up like a million times before it looks decent. And so it just takes me so much longer than it should, which is my own fault. But yeah, so I texted her. I was like, you're not going to pay me for this. I'm literally just going to give this to you because this has taken so long, and I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's life. That's life. Da, 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 da. Okay, this episode is going to be extremely fucking random because every week when I talk on here, what happens is I just make a list on my phone of like, I call them podcast topics. And they're all just fucking random things I think about throughout the week leading up to the day that I record. And so none of these have anything to do with each other. So we are, almost 40 minutes into this thing, and there has not been one common thread, but I fear that's how every episode goes. So next thing I want to talk about is people who, how do I want to frame this? So here's what started this. Okay, someone had liked my Instagram photos, and I didn't really know who they were, but they had liked like 4 of my photos from like months ago. And I was like, okay, weird. And so I went and clicked on her profile, and I like didn't recognize her. Like, I don't know who it is. So I was just like, oh, okay, it's just like a random person, like whatever. And I was just scrolling on her thing because I was trying to be like, do I know any of these people in her photos? Like, whatever. Because sometimes it's like, I feel like the only time people ever like my shit like that is like some like creepy guy who's like, I don't know. That's like guys' way of being like, they think you're attractive, is like to go like old Instagram photos of yours and be like, yeah, I look through them. It's like, okay, weirdo. You could send me a message and not just be like a fucking creep, but whatever. But like, I don't ever have girls do that. So it was just kind of random. And so I went and, God, this fucking gnat. I went and like scrolled through her shit, and it looks like she's married, okay? But then I was scrolling and there was like this other guy like in her photos, like from a couple years ago, and they were like definitely more than friendly. And I just got to thinking like, I see this kind of often, which is weird because I think it's very strange, but like people still having their like ex on their Instagram, but they're like in a relationship with somebody else or like married to somebody else. And I'm like, am I just like a hater, or is that fucking weird? Because here's the thing, like I go through and archive shit on my Instagram often. Like, I don't have a ton of photos on there still. I don't even post my family on my Instagram anymore because I have a public Instagram and I have young nieces, and I don't want their photos like on the internet for people to look at because people are creeps and weirdos. And so like I don't even post photos really with my siblings anymore. Like I untagged them from all of my pictures, so you can't just like get out of here. So you can't just like go find them, you know what I'm saying? So maybe I'm just like hyper aware of like that shit, but like, I don't know. I'd be kind of like uncomfortable if I was dating somebody and like they still had their ex on their social medias. Is that not weird? I feel like it's just so weird. Or even when single people, like this might be a little bit crazy, but like even when single people still have like exes on their Instagrams. And it's not even a good photo. Like if it's like a killer photo of you, okay, fine. But like it's not even like a good photo of them and they're on there. I'm kind of like, but you're doing all this for what? You know, like just to be like, look, I've had a boyfriend before. Look, I've had a girlfriend before. It's like, okay. And take that shit down. Take it down. Archive that shit. If you don't want to delete it, fine. Archive it. It's just odd. Like, I don't know. It's a little bit disrespectful, I feel like, especially if you're married to somebody, that it's just weird. I'm not even like being like, oh, I don't know, it's kind of odd. No, like that's weird. I don't know. Maybe it's a hot take. Maybe I'm just nosy, but I thought it was very odd. Okay, on my drive home from my parents' house, this weekend. Typically on my drive, I split it 50-50 of listening to podcasts, and then I will listen to music because I start to get sleepy, and the only way to keep me awake when I'm on these drives is to listen to music that I know all the words to, and I just sing the entire time. But this time, because I was sick, I was just kind of like my throat was hurting and whatever, so like singing was just like kind of uncomfortable, so I just listened to podcasts the majority of the time. And Crime Junkie put out this podcast episode that was like 3.5 hours long about the JonBenet Ramsey case. And I listened to the whole fucking thing. And it was a good podcast episode. Like, I love them. They're just so good. And like, I just feel like they're genuinely like good people. I don't listen to their podcasts as often as I used to, but that's just because in general, I don't really listen to podcasts that much. I think if they did a video version, I would definitely listen to it. But like the audio only, I'm just kind of like, I don't care too much for that. So I totally get if you don't listen to this podcast and you only watch it on YouTube. Even though it's not that exciting on YouTube, it's like something about seeing somebody, it like, I don't know, it feels more real and you're able to connect a bit better. But anyway, so I listened to that, and like I had known about the JonBenet case because like, hello, I'm a white woman who is in her late 20s. Like, I kind of grew up on the serial, the true crime podcast of it all. You know, it's just like, that is what introduced me to podcasts. That's just like, I feel like everybody had that in this generation, or like millennials, like definitely. But like, you know, it's just like, true crime is one of those things that like I do enjoy to consume, but also sometimes I feel like guilty consuming it. I don't know. It's like a very weird relationship I have with it. But I had listened to coverage on the John Bonet case in the past, but like it had been so long. And then the new Netflix documentary, the like 3-part documentary came out that like John Ramsey, John Bonet's dad, was like the kind of spokesperson for, and the Netflix, I didn't watch it, my older brother watched it and was telling me about it, but like it was very much a pro, the parents didn't do it, intruder special. And so yeah, like I was listening to the Crime Junkies coverage of it, and like I don't know, I guess I just didn't remember a lot of it, and slash maybe I never heard that much detail on it in the first place, but like everybody always refers to that case and I never really understood, but now I get it because it is like maddening. I don't know if you guys consume true crime or know anything about it, but basically in the late 90s, this little girl, 6 years old, was unalived, and her family is very wealthy. She was like in pageants. The mom was very like put together, like always on her best behavior, like full glam all the time, very much like really cared for like outward appearances. So she was like a pageant girl, and so she put John Bonet in pageants, and she was very like, even though she was 6, she had like all these photo shoots and stuff and was very done up and like did not look like she was 6 years old. Like she looked very mature with how she was presented. So the media was very like kind of weird about the case. Like, I don't know, like it was very like she was definitely like sexualized, which is really disgusting and whatever. But anyway, so she was unalived, and her parents called 911, and there's like this infamous 911 call of her mom like talking to 911 and being like kind of like hysterical, which like obviously like if your daughter's missing, but at the time they thought her daughter was just missing, and they had this 3-page ransom note. Okay, that is like the most insane ransom note you've ever seen in your entire life. And she's like all over the place, the 911 operator, like whatever, police show up, they're like, you know, going through the house. The house is crazy because it's like this 6,000 square foot home that's like had like 4 different like renovation cycles. So there's been like all these added weird like sections to the house. It's a very weird layout. It's like 3 stories plus like a wine cellar basement thing. So it's like technically 4 stories. Very odd. There was no like entry points that an intruder could have gotten in besides this very small window that like had cobwebs all over it that were undisturbed, but if like a person fit through it, it would have been disturbed. Anyways, I'm like butchering the explanation of this, but basically the police like totally butchered the investigation. This town had never had anything like this happen before, so the police were not equipped with the right knowledge or like personnel to handle this type of investigation. But what started off as like a ransom note, missing, kidnap situation quickly turned into a like murder investigation because the dad ended up finding the daughter in the basement unalived. And so, you know, there's been speculation all over the place. You know, people think that the parents also had a younger son who was 9 years old, so 3 years older than John Bonet was at the time. There's been theories that he did it. There's been theories that the parents did it. There's been theories that, you know, only the mom did it, or only the dad did it, or like a family friend did it, or like whatever. But like everything has been said. You know, there's this theory that like this like pedophile did it, and I don't know. So many different theories, whatever. And the more and more I learn about it, the more I think I know what's going on, only to like one other thing happen. God, you see this fucking bug? in the camera, only for like another thing to happen. And then I'm like, wait, maybe I don't know what the fuck's going on. But the biggest issue with the whole case is like the DNA evidence is all like effed up because they only have touch DNA and they're not able to like totally test it because it's like missing alleles. So yeah, it's just all crazy. But what brings me back to all this to say, none of you guys care, but I'm just saying, I strongly believe that at the very least, the mom knows what happens. I also kind of believe the dad does, but I don't know. The Netflix thing is making me be like, but why is he still talking about it if he was part of the cover up or whatever? But I think that the mom knew. However, she has since passed away. She like died in, I think, like the late 2000s, like 2009. But the reasoning behind that is because this like ransom note was fucking crazy. It was so long. It was written with her pen, her notebook, and there was like a handwriting expert, a bunch of handwriting experts, but like all of them were saying like they couldn't rule her out as the person who wrote it because there was like over 200 commonalities between the handwriting, and like the words in it were very weird, like words that like a normal person wouldn't write. Also, when the FBI did like a test to see how long it would take somebody to write that, it was like at least 20 minutes just to write the note. So it seems like a very odd thing for like an intruder to do, only to end up like killing the girl, you know? I don't know. It's crazy story. If you want to learn more about it, literally just like the internet is full of shit, so much full of shit of like information about it. It is a rabbit hole spiral, whatever. It's none of my business to know what happened, but at the same time, it's like, it's very intriguing and like you want to know because I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like there's no way the parents could have done it, you know, because you're like, who could do that to their kid? But then at the same time, you're like, but if it was the other kid who did it and the parents are just trying to like keep one of their kids safe and not in jail and whatever, it's like maybe you would cover it up and do whatever it takes because you already lost one kid, so why not? Like you wouldn't want to lose another. I don't know. It's so crazy and whatever, but yeah. I just thought I would put that out there because it's like also it's all over my socials because I think all of the stuff with the documentary coming out, like people were just very like interested in all of that. Yeah, I put it on the story, on the Instagram story, and was like, who do you think did it? And somebody was like, I always believed it to be the brother, but now I don't know. I need to know. And I'm like, that's literally me too. It's like, I don't know everything, and then I don't know at the same time. But anyways, okay, to conclude this episode, I know this has been fucking like a ADHD fest, but that's just me. Yep, that's me. That's what I was trying to say. That's a Raven reference. One of the best shows ever on Disney Channel for sure. That's a Raven, The Proud Family, Hannah Montana. I did really like Wizards of Waverly Place because I liked how like cunty Alex was, like, and Harper is so quirky and annoying. Like I just loved her ass. Like it's just weirdo vibes, and I loved her. Also, when she started dating that werewolf, I was like, he's hot. I'm down. Like, yep, hottie. God, what other like show did I love on Disney Channel? See, I was a Nickelodeon / Cartoon Network kid. Hot take. So I was on iCarly, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101. Like that was my shit for real. And I did like Disney, but I was definitely, I love Gravity Falls. That's probably the best show on Disney of all time. God, that show's so good. But I was like that freak who watched like Disney XD. Like I was watching like Kick Buttowski and like Zeke and Luther and like dumb shit like that. I'm not like other girls. No, honestly, it was just because I had a younger brother and he like didn't want to watch like Hannah Montana with me, but he was like, okay, I'll watch like fucking Kick Buttowski. I'm like, okay, fine, we'll meet in the middle here. But last thing I wanted to say was it's Christmas vibes, okay? It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. It's Christmas time today. I don't know what the fuck the words are. But anyways, since it's Christmas time, it's Christmas vibes. I wanted to ask everybody like what's their favorite Christmas movie, because I feel like we all need to be watching Christmas movies. I'm trying to do shit that makes me happy every day. So I'm like, that's an easy fucking thing to do. Put on a Christmas movie, whatever. So I will now be reading. What are your favorite Christmas movies from your write-ins? I didn't do advice or confessions. I'm kind of liking the like Q&A thing on IG. I feel like it's really easy, and then you guys don't have to like think too hard, you know? I'm taking the executive decision making out of your hands, and I'm making it really easy for you guys. So I hope you appreciate that. But let's read what you guys like. What's your favorite Christmas movie? A Year Without Santa Claus. The creepy ass 1970s stop motion one. Okay, here's the thing. Y'all know how I feel about stop motion, claymation bullshit. I did have a fear of that for a long time. I was very scared of that for a long time. However, not so scared anymore, but there's definitely something creepy about it. I totally agree with you about that. I think about Rudolph. That shit is a little off-putting. You know, I think about, what's the other one? Didn't they do a Jack Frost one? Was the same thing? Like that old ass. It was like the people who made Rudolph. I think they made a bunch of those. They might have done the Year Without Santa Claus one too. Yeah, I might be passing on that one. But okay. Grinch, the cartoon one. Totally agree. I don't know if you mean like the OG. God, this, do you see this gnat? This drives me crazy. The OG cartoon one is one of my favorite movies ever. Like OG Dr. Seuss one is so good. But I also love the Benedict Cumberbatch one with Pharrell as the narrator. That one is low-key really good. It's like low-key really good. Like it might be a new Christmas classic. I was talking with my coworker the other day when we were decorating our office about how there hasn't been like a recent movie, I feel like, since, I would say Elf is probably the most recent one that has felt like okay, this is going to become a classic Christmas movie. But I do think the DreamWorks Grinch could get there. I really do. But I think that's like all the Grinch franchise. Like people just love the Grinch. I think it's a great story, and I hate the Jim Carrey one. I know a lot of people that's their favorite. I don't like Jim Carrey. He weirds me out. I don't like his mannerisms. I hate it. You see the fucking bug? I'm gonna kill somebody. Okay, but yeah, I agree. I love the OG Grinch. It's so good. And his heart grew 3 sizes that day. Eloise at Christmas time. Eloise, why does that sound so familiar? Eloise at Christmas time. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, it's like an old Disney movie. But I was going to say, yeah, wasn't Eloise like a cartoon? Yes. Okay. She lived in a hotel, right? Wasn't that the gist? Yes, she lives in the New York Plaza Hotel. Cause I remember like the books, I think. Oh my gosh, yeah, wow, what an old movie. I have not seen that in forever. But yeah, it's a very cute movie. Okay. The Year Without a Santa Claus. Okay, look, you got another one. Look, y'all should watch that together. The Santa Claus. Okay, I do agree. I think the Santa Claus franchise is like really, it's like bad movies that are good. Like, does that make sense? Like, the movies are bad. Like, they are stupid. They're not good. But they're good. Like, I'm like, okay, I love this. Like, the, what's his face? I can't tell if my vision is going crazier if it's like smoky in here. Maybe it's just my vision. I have my vaporizer going, but it looks like smoke like in a different corner. I don't smell any smoke though, so we're just gonna keep on going. The Santa Claus, yeah, I love those movies. I think they're good. What's his name? Tim something? I don't know. When I was little, I had a crush on the son. Like that badass kid who like threw the snowballs and shit. Yeah, I had a crush on him. Grew out of that quickly. The first Harry Potter, I agree. I think honestly, like Harry Potter is, I feel like people think about Halloween with Harry Potter, but I always think about Christmas. I feel like all the major like events and stuff in Harry Potter happen around Christmas time. So like it's very much a Christmas franchise. I feel like you can watch that during Christmas for sure. Okay, we have a couple more. Christmas with the Cranks. Have I seen this? That sounds familiar. Christmas with the Cranks. Oh yeah, same guy from Santa Claus. Tim Allen, that's his name. Oh yeah. Like it's like the competition, the house decoration thing. Yeah, that's a good movie. Also, bad movie. It's like a bad movie, but it's good. Makes sense. I think that most Christmas movies are really bad, and that's why they're good. I'm surprised nobody said Elf. That's kind of crazy. Elf is like the best Christmas movie. Not a single person said that. Gremlins or Die Hard? I would agree Die Hard is like such a Christmas movie. Gremlins. I've never seen Gremlins, but does it take place on Christmas or something? Oh yeah, it looks like it's Christmas time. See, those hoes just piss me the fuck off. Like, I don't like the way that they look. They look like a Furby, and I never really fucked with a Furby. The like beak mouth thing, it's like, I don't like that. And I know Gremlin doesn't have a beak mouth, but like, ooh, I don't like it. Yeah, I don't know. I might pass on Gremlins, but I do like Die Hard. I think Die Hard is it's one of those franchises that like I feel like you just have to watch, you know? It's ridiculous. It's so insane, but at the same time it's like it's funny. It's like funny how like insane it is. So, yeah, but anyways, hope you guys are getting into the Christmas spirit, and I hope nobody's a Scrooge this year. Who are we kidding? We're all too fucking poor to be Scrooges. Maybe we'll be the Tiny Tims of of our families. Oh my god, Tiny Tim. That is the OG Scrooge, but the Mickey Mouse version with like Donald Duck's like uncle is like the Scrooge in it. You know what I'm talking about. Yup, that's a certified Christmas classic. That's a certified Christmas classic. Put that shit on. What is that? A Christmas Story? Is that what it is? Yeah, Mickey Mouse, A Christmas Story. That shit is a banger. That is a good Christmas movie. What's that Adam Sandler movie too? The cartoon one? That was always on MTV when I was a kid, like around Christmas time. Like, I've seen that movie so many times, I never once wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, it always just came on. But yeah, I think Adam Sandler is Jewish. The movie might be about Hanukkah. I don't remember, but I think Santa Claus is in it. So, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I hope you guys are having a lovely holiday season. I hope we're able to spread some cheer and have some fun and everybody get out of the seasonal depression that we're all in. And I'm assuming it's all of us because I'm the club president and I speak for everybody. So, if you're not in a seasonal depression, or maybe you are and you're getting out of it, tell me what you're doing to do so. I need to feel something, please, for the love of God. But anyways, I love you guys so much, and thank you so much for being here. If you're not, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Starnsy on YouTube. I think 75% of the people who watch my videos on YouTube are not subscribed, so that would be huge for me if you subscribe. If you listen on Apple Podcast or Spotify, shout out Apple Podcast, Spotify rap list. Bringing it back to the beginning of the episode. Anyways, if you listen on there, if you would be so kind to leave a review, that would be amazing. Give me 5 stars or give me fucking death. And once more, I love you. I know I say that a lot, but I really do. I really love you with my little Grinch heart. I love you so, so much. And I will see you next week for our club meeting. Bye.
The Girls Club, 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 the Girls Club. It's my club and I'm a girl, yeah.